Welcome back to Archero 2, guys, and today we will learn how to fight specific boss. We will learn smooth patterns and what's the easiest way to deal most damage to it in the challenges, or how you can avoid its damage in the chapters to do most DPS. But before we start, please like and subscribe the video. It took a while to make those guides, and those actions will help to promote the video in YouTube algorithm, and I can make more videos like that for you. Scythe Mage. Now this guy is one of the toughest bastards in the game, so let's try to do our best to fight it and don't get killed. The issue is that its attacks are insanely dangerous and really hard to avoid, especially for the circle build. As you can see, its hit is always hitting the target because they are fast and the spread is very strong. So for the melee builds, I'm not sure what you can do. First, let's try to beat it as a ranged build. Basically, you can avoid the Scythes, especially at the high range, because they have the gaps. The problem is that different Scythes have different attack speed, like movement speed. So basically, the problem is that while you avoiding those small Scythes, the big one will probably close the gaps and you might get killed. But as I said, for the ranged build, it's a more viable option because, well, there is a chance that you can get used to those patterns of the attacks. Basically, there are only 2 attacks, it's not that hard. Using the slow field is a really good option, by the way. Let me show you. So it will allow projectiles to slow down and you will be able to avoid them easier. But yeah, basically, what you need to do is be really careful about those things and move between them. And the problem is, you will have to move a lot. So for this fight, getting enchant weapon is a really good option. Getting stand strong is the worst one, because most likely you won't be standing strong, you will be running around too much. So get some attacks that do attacks without you standing still. Alright, so now let's get a bit closer and try to utilize our circle, since we get so many of them. Why the hell not? Attack power, let's go. So the thing is, as you can see, I'm trying to avoid those projectiles, but it's really hard. Let's get the dodge rate. Yeah, getting the dodge rate and other options of survivability will be good. Invincibility potion is another good option, but those are not the guaranteed ways to avoid the damage, because we want to learn the enemy patterns, and it's pretty hard because, as you can see, come on, stop giving me skills. Even if you're running right next to it, there are still chances that you will get hit, especially if it's right next to the wall. So yeah, I'm taking insane damage right now because I can't avoid the projectiles. Getting additional movement speed might be a good option. So this is a really painful boss to fight, guys, and I would recommend switching to ranged build, because going with the melee build, it's fun, but you need to rely on the life leech, you need to rely on your movement speed and knowing its patterns and freezing the enemy and all that. And right now my movement speed is horrible, so I'm still taking damage. 4 seconds left, and yeah, still the damage is way low, because usually I do way more. So yeah, my recommendation for the boss, the main one, would be going with the ranged build and don't stay close, because even if you're close, the only way for you to avoid the attack if you're in the range of your orb is to run away at the diagonal way. So not directly away from it, but at the angle. And you will be moving at the angle around it, like orbiting it. And then you will have a chance at avoiding the projectiles, but it shoots them so fast together that it's really hard to avoid. So yeah, the main thing that, as you can see, I'm still taking damage all the time. It's not that easy. The easiest way to do that is to run away a bit, go through the projectiles and go back. And attack ratio is pretty fast as well. The small Scythes, they kind of bounce from the walls, so they will be all around, and sometimes, like we have it right now, you won't be able to avoid it that easily. So yeah, this guy is horrible. There we go. Weapon enchantment. Now this one is a lifesaver, because now you can run around all the time and your bow will be still shooting, because you will be running around a lot. Those guys, this fella is annoying. But at least like that, you can use your attacks, you can use your charged attacks. So if you go for something like the beam attack or big arrow, whatever it's called, it needs to be charged, you will be able to actually utilize it like this charged arrow. So now if I'll take it, that will be a good thing. But cloud-footed will be a better option right now. So we will move faster and we can avoid getting hit. The problem is, for the most fights, if it's not a chapter fight, you will need to do more damage to the enemies. And it's not easy. Because you're moving all the time, you can't stand still, you can't maximize your damage, you can't do that. My recommendation, although, will be getting the Blaze build. So Super Blaze with the fire skills will allow us to do crazy fire damage to the enemy. And that will be easier way to do that. Now we get the fire arrow. And that should actually increase our DPS quite a lot, because it allows us to do damage over time while still moving around. So yeah, if you're fighting it as a chapter boss, and if you know that current chapter has this boss, I think that the best option for you will go range. That way you can stay at range and still have sort of chance to avoid the projectiles, because if you're close, you will probably get hit. Unless you're overpowered, unless you are feeling confident in your survivability, which I don't feel like that. As you can see, my health is really low. Yeah, it won't really work otherwise. So yeah, this is a painful boss to fight, and I think this is the way to fight it, using the ranged build. Melee build is an option, but still, I haven't found a way to properly avoid the enemy attacks unless you get a really good movement speed, so you can kind of circle it around and go outside of that cone of their attacks. And if you don't get that, you will either get lower damage for the boss, so you won't get a really good score, or you will just be killed. And in the chapters, you will be killed, because usually the bosses there are tough. So there we go, that's the boss guide for you. I hope it was useful for you. If you get extra tips for the newer players or for other boss fights, share them down below in the comments. That would help a lot. And check out the playlist with the rest of the videos, the rest of the boss fights, wiki for the text info, like this guide as well, and LD player links so you can play Archero 2 on the PC, which will allow it to be more convenient. You can avoid projectiles easier and like control your character better. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. It's been Kosh. Have a good one. Bye.